Hello Culers, it's Pablo here and welcome back to a brand new video here on Barca Universal. In today's video, hopefully it's one that you guys find really useful. It has been requested a few times. I'd already thought about doing it. So in today's video, guys, we're going to be discussing who is Jordi Cruyff. By the end of this, let's say 10-minute video, you guys hopefully will know everything you need to know about the new man, the son of Johan Cruyff, who has been added to Joan Laporta's sporting team. Without any further ado, guys, let's get into everything and hopefully you guys do enjoy and learn something from it. So let's start with a few formalities, a bit of background really. Jordi Cruyff is going to be joining Joan Laporta's sporting team. There he will be alongside Ramon Planes and Matteo Alemany. And Jordi Cruyff's role will almost be not so much a sporting director, that's almost more Matteo Alemany's role, but he is going to be working in the sporting team, almost as what I would see as Joan Laporta's chief advisor on footballing matters. So he will be there alongside Planes, alongside Alemany, in that sort of sector. And just quickly touching on Jordi Cruyff's past, he was of course an ex-footballer like his father Johan Cruyff. We cannot forget he is of course the son of the great Johan Cruyff of Barcelona, Netherlands and Ajax and whatnot, you know, one of the greats of world football. And during his playing career, Jordi Cruyff did actually play for both Manchester United and Barcelona, although his playing career wasn't really that sparkling, to be honest. He then moved on to be a sporting director, which is really the main stuff we're going to be talking about in today's video, because that is going to be similar to his role here at Barcelona. That's what you guys will need to know about essentially in terms of who is he and what can he bring to the club. He's also actually had some stints as a manager. That's where he'll be coming from. He did a managing job over in China not long ago. But as mentioned, guys, the main things I'm going to be talking about today are going to be his roles as a sporting director in that sort of sector. So those are the basics out of the way. Now let's really get into the video. You know, why you guys clicked on it. Well, what can Jordi Cruyff actually bring to Barcelona? We know who he is. We know his father. We know a bit of his past. Now let's get into the details. What can he bring? What has he done? And what to expect? But let's take you all the way back to 2010 when Jordi Cruyff did indeed announce his retirement from football, and almost immediately, guys, he went in to be a sporting director at Cyprus club AEK Larnaca. Now yes, you know, Larnaca, they're not a big club, they're a Cyprus club, guys. They'd only just been promoted to the first division at the time, as I say. But despite having a tiny budget, Cruyff worked some pretty good wonders really at Larnaca. He ended up being a huge success, which what looked to be a real experiment really, him joining the club. I remember reading some articles on people wondering why on earth has he gone there at the time, you know, what has he proven? Well, absolutely nothing. He just retired from football, but he went to Larnaca and he fitted in pretty well. It ended up being a really good success actually in the 2 years there. They quickly qualified for the UEFA Europa League and they actually had a group stage appearance with Manchester United within the 2 seasons that Jordi Cruyff was indeed a sporting director of the Cyprus club. They also ended up finishing 4th in the first division in his first season there at the club. And you've got to say, guys, for Cruyff, I think he stepped into that job really off the back of being a footballer. And it did end up being, you know, an overwhelming success, to be fair. At quite a small club, yes, but I think no one was really expecting much from that role. And it was a good sign of things to come. And the next and really biggest landmark in his career as a sporting director has to be at Israeli club Maccabi Tel Aviv. I think this really is where Cruyff built himself as an established sporting director and clearly someone who knows what he's doing off the pitch. I think when you saw him go there, he really began to make his name as this sort of genius, you know, a perfectionist off the pitch in the sporting area. That is, of course, what Laporta will really want here at Barcelona too. And you look at some of the success that Maccabi did indeed have on the pitch during Cruyff's spell there as sporting director, similar to Larnaca. They just massively improved. They won their first title in the Israeli league in over 10 years there, guys. They also won 3 domestic cups there in 2015. And it wasn't just on the pitch, guys, in which they were doing very, very well. I remember actually they were in the Champions League at that point. But it was also off the pitch. It was Cruyff's attention to detail, his sharp decision making, how much understanding he had about the players, about the coaching staff at the time, the academies, all of these sorts of details. It became a real success having Cruyff at the club. He has big praise for his time at Maccabi. I know that they massively respect him over there. He did become almost a bit of a great at the club, which was quite weird for a sporting director. You know, you only really see that at Sevilla, for example, with Monchi. It was that sort of success that Cruyff had over there in Israel. And you've got to say that is a good sign. Yes, his first stint there at Larnaca, you know, of course, is quite a small club, but to be fair, he made some good signings evidently off the pitch. He did work some good stuff. And I think at Maccabi during his 3 years there as sporting director, clearly he built himself a good reputation. And it was really those 2 spells, guys, that were his only sporting directive spells, and that's why I've really gone into detail about them. There are a few bits and bobs here and there. You know, you look at Maccabi, for example, Cruyff actually became, I believe, the interim manager for a little bit after his spell as sporting director. But as I say, I really do think it was, you know, his success as a sporting director that why Laporta has brought him to the club. Of course, you know, he's the natural heir to Johan Cruyff. We know the relationship Laporta had with Cruyff, but I think Laporta wants someone back there who shares the same ideologies as him, as Johan once did. And that is why I thought it was really important for you guys to go into detail into his sporting directive spells. So what can we actually expect here from Jordi Cruyff at Barcelona? That's probably what you guys are thinking. What I'll say to you guys is this: it looks like to me Jordi Cruyff is almost going to come in as Laporta's chief advisor on footballing matters. I remember when Laporta was there in his first stint at Barcelona. I was pretty young at the time, but it is said that if Laporta had any queries, anything he was worried about, he spoke to Johan Cruyff. I think this is exactly what Joan Laporta is looking to do now with Jordi, the son of Johan. He wants someone he can speak to, who he believes has the same ideas and philosophy as him. And who knows, guys, he maybe has already been in contact with Jordi Cruyff. If you look at the decision to keep Ronald Koeman as coach, I would not be surprised at all if Jordi Cruyff got a ring. We do know that Cruyff openly has actually said he would have kept Koeman as coach, so perhaps he's already having some influence on the club there. What I would expect, guys, in terms of signings, in terms of promoting players from La Masia, in terms of who we sell, how we play, that sort of stuff, bringing in managers, I am expecting Jordi Cruyff to essentially have a big say on that. I'm not sure if he'll be the guy going out there and getting people. I think that will more be almost a job of Matteo Alemany, for example, even Ramon Planes there doing scouting. But that sort of, ideas that Cruyff will bring, that sort of input that I think he will have in Laporta's ear, I think is going to be big. And I think it's going to have a big role at Barcelona. And that essentially was his past for you guys to take a look at, see what you guys think, and build your own opinion. And judging by this poll that I did the other day, you guys do seem pretty happy to bring Jordi Cruyff to the club. I think, look, we don't know an awful amount about him. I tried to get in his main sporting directive spells there at Maccabi Tel Aviv and at AEK Larnaca. Look, it's not very established clubs, but from what I read, guys, what I did my research on, he had some pretty good spells there. He did have a good amount of success. So look, I think we're all happy. I think it's a good appointment. Look, I do like the sort of role he'll have. I like the fact that he'll almost come in as that advisor to Laporta, as a big part of the sports area, with Alemany and Planes doing almost the administrative work. And I do honestly think having Cruyff's blood back at the club is really, really good. I honestly do. I think having Cruyff here is a positive thing for Barcelona. It's good news. Hopefully it's something we can be excited about. And hopefully, guys, he makes some big calls in the future. Hopefully he does help us really become what we want to be again, guys. So let's see what Cruyff can do. He'll be joining in August, is something that I probably should have told you earlier. He's going to be joining there in the summer, so he'll be ready for next season, essentially, is what I'll say about Jordi Cruyff. Look, when I was doing my research, I was impressed by him. I didn't know an awful amount about him before this, but I did some research. I hopefully got all of it that I wanted to say, really, into this video. Of course, Cruyff has been an ex-player. He's the son of Johan Cruyff, of course. He was a manager for a few spells. He's just come up from a managing job, actually, over there in China. That's where he'll be coming from to join this Barcelona sporting team. And let's see what he can do, guys. I hope I covered everything in enough detail there. Certainly the most important parts that I really wanted to get in the video. As always, guys, drop a like if you did enjoy it. Share the video around. And always, guys, leave any of your thoughts in the comments down below. That's what I want to see most from you guys. Good to have some discussions down there. I'll see you guys soon. Let's see if Memphis Depay joins Barcelona soon. I'll have a video waiting for you guys to release when he's officially announced. Until then, enjoy yourselves, enjoy the Euros, enjoy the Copa America, and goodbye.